Hi, I'm Anya Patra.
And I'm Heeya.
This is our GT project for 2025 on aneuploidy disorders. The keywords are chromosomes, which are condensed units of DNA, meiosis, a process where gametes, sperm and egg cells, are made. These gametes fuse together during fertilization to create the zygote, which eventually forms a fetus. Scoliosis is an abnormal curvature of the spine. Most trisomies result in a type of scoliosis called congenital scoliosis. This is when the baby is born with the disease. Autosomal chromosomes are the 44 non-sex chromosomes. A monosomy is when a cell does not get enough chromosomes. It only gets one instead of a pair. And a trisomy is when a cell gets an extra chromosome, 3 instead of a pair.
So what are chromosomes? Basically, cells have all of the body's DNA inside of them, so they need a more orderly way of splitting DNA during mitosis and meiosis, which is basically cell division. This is why cells use chromosomes, condensed units of DNA and proteins that help a cell divide their DNA faster. So, in this picture, we have a single chromosome and a duplicated chromosome. They're both still one chromosome, except one of them only has one chromatid.
Meiosis. In the body, germ cells go through a process called meiosis that helps produce 4 haploid different gametes that help with genetic diversity during fertilization. These gametes are needed to fuse together during fertilization to make children. There are several stages of meiosis, including prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1, cytokinesis, and then it repeats these steps, but it's the second one. This picture to the side shows the relation between chromosomes and chromatids during the stages of meiosis.
Non-disjunction. During anaphase of meiosis, sometimes the tetrads, which are during anaphase 1, or sister chromatids during anaphase 2, do not separate correctly. This is called non-disjunction, and it can lead to gametes or sex cells getting an extra copy of a chromosome, which is a trisomy, or a missing copy of a chromosome, which is a monosomy.
This chart lists the types of aneuploidies. Most aneuploidies are not compatible with life in humans. However, the sex chromosomes are an exception because the Y chromosome is small and not essential. So many sex aneuploidies are common for this reason. As this chart shows, regular chromosomes are supposed to be diploid. However, the various aneuploidies are nullosomies, where there's just no pairs of chromosomes, and most of these are not compatible with life at all. There's monosomies where there's only one of a pair. There's double monosomies when this happens twice, where there's 2 instances where there's only one of a pair. Trisomies are when there is an extra chromosome, so there's 3 instead of 2. And tetrasomies, these are also barely ever compatible with life, or when they have 4 instead of a pair.
Turner syndrome. This is a monosomy where females have only one X chromosome instead of 2. It affects growth and sexual development. They don't go through puberty on their own. Their ovaries don't fully develop. People with this disease are usually shorter than average. Other characteristics include a stocky build, arms that turn out slightly at the elbow, a receding lower jaw, a short webbed neck, and a low hairline at the back of the neck. Infertility can also be another symptom. Turner syndrome usually doesn't affect intelligence, but it can cause learning challenges. Most people are treated with hormone replacement therapy. Only 1 to 3% of embryos with this disorder are born.
Turner syndrome affects the body in many ways. It affects the heart by causing many heart problems like elongating the aorta or having high blood pressure. It causes abnormal curvature or weakened bones. It can cause various autoimmune diseases. It can cause problems with hearing. It can cause problems with the eyes. And it can also cause other disorders like flat foot.
So what are some treatments for Turner syndrome? Treatments for Turner syndrome can include, but are not limited to, estrogen therapy, which gives more estrogen to help with female development, human growth hormone therapy, which gives human growth hormones, and cyclic progestins, which induce menstrual periods for females. Some doctors are against these treatments because of the risk of heart disease, stroke, and blood clots. Most doctors are in favor of treatments like these because they increase the life expectancy of children with Turner syndrome. How is Turner syndrome diagnosed? Diagnosis of Turner syndrome uses a karyotype, which is basically like a chromosome map, to identify if there is a trisomy. Sometimes an ultrasound during pregnancy can be used for early detection, which is the best choice. Other facts about Turner syndrome: the life expectancy of someone with Turner syndrome may be slightly shorter, but they usually lead normal lives. Turner syndrome cannot be prevented. Children diagnosed with Turner syndrome typically see a pediatrician.
Down syndrome. People with this have an extra chromosome 21. It's the most common chromosome disorder. They have distinct facial characteristics, weak muscle tone, an inward-pointing pinky finger, a palmar crease, and a shorter than usual height. Kids with this tend to develop slower, and they might have cognitive developmental challenges. It might be difficult for a person with this to walk and move, speak, learn, and play.
So what are some treatment options for Down syndrome? There is not a standard treatment for Down syndrome, but physical, occupational, or speech therapy can help with the symptoms. If there are vision problems, glasses can help. If there are hearing issues, hearing aids or other assistive devices can be of use. It is also important to treat any underlying medical conditions the child may have. Most doctors are in favor of these treatments because they don't have any major side effects. However, there are some medical professionals who want more effective treatments and are researching alternate options. Some preliminary studies have been made on the potential of gene therapy for correcting Down syndrome. However, the research is still in the early stages, using mostly in vitro cultures in mice, and some people doubt the ethicality of gene therapy.
This is trisomy 18. Sadly, only about 5% of fetuses with this are born, and only about 5 to 10% of those babies survive the first year. People with this might have an abnormal shaped head, or heart, respiratory, or kidney defects. Symptoms of this can include problems gaining weight and growing, a low muscle tone, a deformed face and head, learning disabilities, heart and kidney problems, overlapping fingers, and webbed toes.
So what are some treatment options for Edwards syndrome? Not many treatments for Edwards syndrome exist. The treatments that do focus mainly on treating the symptoms rather than the condition as a whole. Like Down syndrome, gene therapy is emerging as a possible option for patients with this condition. However, patients considering gene therapy must be aware of ethical concerns before continuing.
Patau syndrome is trisomy 13. People with this have severe physical defects and intellectual disabilities. Only 2 to 3% of fetuses with Patau survive to birth, and only 5 to 10% survive the first year. Symptoms can be cleft palate, difficulty gaining weight, polydactyly, low set ears, growth abnormalities in the arms or legs, hypotonia, small head in the lower jaw, and very small close together or underdeveloped eyes, among a lot of other things.
So what are some treatments for Patau syndrome? There are no specific treatments for Patau syndrome, but doctors usually focus on helping the baby with eating, walking, motor skills, and breathing, which is basically treating the symptoms. Research on newer and more effective treatments are underway. Another option for potentially curing Patau syndrome is corrective surgery, although this option is only used if the affected baby has a higher chance of survival.
Sex trisomies happen when there is a trisomy in chromosome pair 23, the one with X and Y chromosomes. Usually people are XX female or XY male, but in sex trisomies it is XXX, XXY, or XYY. These are generally more compatible with life, and they can lead a normal and healthy life. Sex trisomies are different from normal trisomies that happen with autosomes, or the non-sex chromosomes.
So here are some examples of sex trisomies. Number 1, Jacobs syndrome. This is when males are born with an extra chromosome, so instead of XY, it's XYY. They are usually taller than average. They are generally not mentally retarded, but they can have learning disorders. Number 2, Klinefelter syndrome. This is when males are born with an extra X chromosome, so instead of XY, it's XXY. This primarily affects sexual development and can cause fertility problems. They might have intellectual disabilities or mild retardation. Number 3, triple X syndrome, also known as trisomy X syndrome. This is when females have 3 X chromosomes, so instead of XX, it's XXX. Many people with this don't have any symptoms. They are usually taller than average. They might have developmental or mental disorders.
Treatments for sex trisomies can include surgery to treat any deformities, educational support, speech, physical and occupational therapy, and medicines. Long-term testosterone therapy is also an option for males.
Hypergonadotrophic hypogonadism. Hypergonadotrophic hypogonadism is common in sex trisomies. It is characterized by an inability to produce reproductive hormones like estrogen for females and testosterone for males. Most sex trisomies like triple X syndrome have this as a side effect or additional disorder. It can be treated with hormone replacement therapy.
Gene therapy is a treatment that modifies an individual's genes to help cure a disease. Most doctors are in favor of this treatment, but some doctors fear that the risks may outweigh the benefits. Some risks can include cancer, damaged organs, and allergic reactions. However, there are many benefits to this treatment. It's relatively safe, and it's efficient for otherwise difficult to cure diseases. Gene therapy is being explored as a possible cure for aneuploidic diseases, but the research right now is only at the beginning stages. There is also an ethical dilemma regarding gene therapy in the scientific community.
Here are some guiding questions. So what purpose does our topic serve? Basically, we want to inform people about aneuploidy disorders so that they are aware of people with them. We also want them to realize how important this is and how it absolutely cannot be ignored. What would society or the world be like without our topic? So, because our topic is a disease, society would of course be better without it. However, without effective treatments, society would suffer. Why would other people consider our topic important? So that they help the cause against aneuploidy disorders and donate to create better life-saving treatments. What may be the future of our topic? We hope that treatments would be better and more effective in curing aneuploidy disorders.
Learning about chromosomal disorders is the first step to developing new treatments and discovering revolutionary breakthroughs in teaching these conditions. Researching and understanding the nature of chromosomal diseases can save millions of people and help make the world a better place. While these disorders can't be cured yet, modern treatment can help these people with them to lead happy, fulfilling lives.